I'm sure with your boy DJE, aka Debo, aka Black Caesar. Now, shout out to the Lot Boys for pulling through. Make sure you check out that Live by the Bag Live album, of course, if you would like. But of course, this is a show where we have nothing but illustrious guests, and today is nothing different. Now, shout out to the gang who was here, but now we got a little feminine energy in the building, okay? We're talking fashion, we're talking show running, we're talking entrepreneurship, we're talking movies, okay? We're talking Lifetime movies, okay? We're talking athleisure collection shows, okay? And countless fashion shows outside of that, including this past First Friday fashion show that just went down in the Crossroads. Couldn't have done it without the one and only Kiana, aka Styles by Key. What's good?
Hey, what's up? What's up? Yeah. Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for being here for your first official radio interview, right?
Official radio interview. Yes, we are live in this.
Yeah,
this place.
Thank you so much for stopping by and being here today, of course. But for the people who don't know you or maybe didn't get a chance to come out to that First Friday or any of the other things that we have done, just tell a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Kiana. Everyone calls me Key, Styles by Key. I have been styling in Kansas City for about 5 years now. I started in Chicago a little bit before 2020, before the world shut down, and made my way to Kansas City, hopped on into the fashion community and just started networking, started volunteering. And from there, I have been on a handful of fashion projects. Athleisure collection show, I was the backstage manager. And then I worked on the Lifetime movie as a wardrobe assistant. That was super, super cool. Mm-hmm. I have worked with Fashion Honors Autism for about the last 4 years as the runway coordinator. This year, officially style and runway coordinator. I have volunteered for a couple other shows here and there. I worked with the Nelson's Atkins Museum to help consult on the teen fashion show. And now we're out here. I just actually just recently left my full-time job, going full-time entrepreneurship with my businesses. So that's about that.
Awesome. Well, shout out to you. Shout out to all the entrepreneurs out there, doing their thing for sure. I asked the other cats before, like, who was their influences, their musical influences coming up. But I would ask you maybe who was some of your fashion influences coming up.
Absolutely. Some of the classics like the Chanel's, the Dior, always really resonated with me growing up. And I think more so than a specific designer, just like fashion magazines. I remember finding them when I was younger and just being so excited to flip through the pages. So I feel like that was really my first inspiration, was just flipping through fashion magazines and kind of just dreaming of what could be, right? What I could create. So that really stemmed it.
So I think I have fashion, but maybe I don't, because I don't know any fashion magazines. So like what is?
Yeah, so like Vogue. Vogue is the one. Bazaar is another one. Cosmopolitan isn't fashion oriented, but there's fashion in it. But I think, Teen Vogue, especially like back in the day when I was a little bit younger, that was the one that I was like, oh my gosh, what's this? And got excited and, inspired, if you will.
For sure. And so we just did a fashion show this last First Friday, the final First Friday of the year. And it was an amazing show. It was a lot of fun. And the first one that, we got to do really with just us, because when it comes to these fashion shows, it's a lot of pieces, a lot of people. It's like a whole entire super team of things that actually get it done. And so I thought it was really cool that, we was able to get it done with just us. And I feel like that speaks to, your skill set and, how good you are at show running and just doing the backstage, the front stage, getting the models, like all that stuff. So definitely shouts out and salute. And also I want to, can you describe your styling style? I see we got a caller, but we're live, so I can't take it. Tell your style and I will answer.
Okay. So my style in general, I'd say, is a kind of eclectic mix of a little preppy, a little professional, a little edgy. I think right now in this lane, in this journey that I'm on, I really like experimenting with different styles and kind of meshing them to find something that's really true to me. So that's my style. And then when I am styling others, I mean, it's really about if it's a collection, about what the theme is, what the vision is. If it's a photo shoot, it's about what, the photographer or whoever is putting the photo shoot together. It's really about like trying to create the vision through wardrobe. So when I'm styling others, I'm really trying to hit, what they want. And then also whenever I'm styling a collection and it's my vision, I like to, have kind of specific themes. This last theme that I did for the First Friday fashion show, I really wanted to play on streetwear, and I wanted to kind of like include elements of like my own style, get a little preppy, get a little sophisticated, get a little edgy in there. And then I wanted to play with like what that looked like in a more futuristic lens. And so I kind of like took the end of my collection to like futuristic streetwear, if you will. So I really try and kind of hit the brief or the vision that's there when I'm styling others, right? Because it's kind of two separate things, my own style versus styling other people. So
yeah, it was definitely futuristic street. Okay,
yeah.
I really liked what you put down for sure. And now that you're taking this path on entrepreneurship fully, what lies ahead?
Absolutely. So doubling down on my Styles by Key business, right? I have had this business for about 5 years, and I've always had a full-time job when I have tried to really bring this to life. So really just taking the time to like market properly, to reinvest in my services and my own business in terms of like getting the right headshots, getting, all of these little pieces that I just never took the time to really do in terms of building a foundation for a business. So I'm really excited about that. And I also am leaning into another business. I guess like I have my LLC, so I should just talk about it, huh?
Yeah.
I am going to start a fashion boutique. It is going to be exclusively for Kansas City fashion designers. It is called Keys Fashion Collective, and the boutique will exclusively be Kiko. So I'm really excited about that. I have had this vision on my heart since like 2020, honestly, and I came here and I didn't know what I was doing. I was stumbling around with this little idea, and over the last 5 years, it's really grown, and I'm really excited to bring just a piece of my retail experience to the fashion community, right? And I'm really excited to build a platform that is bigger than just one branch of this fashion community we have, right?
Yeah.
And so that's really what I want this boutique and Keys Fashion Collective to be. And so that's one of the biggest reasons I walked away from my job, was to really double down on this new business and then also double down on my business I already have.
For sure, yeah. I think that's a great idea too. And there's so many talented fashion designers in Kansas City. If we could go somewhere where we could check out a multitude of them, that'd be cool. Because a lot of the times where I see multiple designers, it's like honestly, it's mostly tees and stuff, like a whole bunch of different tees, which is awesome. There's a whole bunch of cool designers and stuff in that, but I think there's a whole bunch more to it than just the graphic shirts as well.
Absolutely. I mean, like, look at all of the fashion shows that are happening in Kansas City, and I think with my retail background, I think I see those designs coming down the runway, and I'm like, that's great, but how are you going to sell them? And I think that is a big disconnect between creatives and that business and that marketing piece that you don't necessarily get or learn when you're creating, right? You go to school for design and you learn design. You don't necessarily learn how to sell your clothes and what it looks like to merchandise according to what the customers are buying, and all of these little details that go into owning a boutique, owning a brick and mortar in retail versus just like creating clothes. And my goal with Keys Fashion Collective is to bridge that gap.
Heck yeah, I see it. I see it on the way. You're definitely I feel like a powerhouse in the fashion industry.
Hey, we trying.
Even if like I feel like you've done a lot, of course, and there's still more to be done. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to see what steps are going to be taken. And like I said, man, the First Friday thing was super awesome, and just seeing you continue to hone your skills, and like you always were good at what you do, so I'm glad to see you stepping into your your path and your light as much as you can, because that's what it's about. And of course you need to you got to do what you got to do to pay the bills, but there's a lot to be said for what actually keeps you fulfilled. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and also I haven't got to say it, but shout out to us for doing that First
Hey,
Friday
shout-
show.
shout-
We
shout-
did that. We did that. Okay. It was super cool. It was super cool. And yeah, I mean, it'll be exciting to see what's next and to see what comes up, but yeah, I mean, I'm just excited. I'm still figuring it out. You know, I have my plans and I have my aspirations, but I don't necessarily have it all figured out, right? Like it's literally me just taking a jump. And you know, to all the people that are wondering like when's the time to leave and all of that, I feel like I struggled with that for years, but at the end of the day, I feel like that last year that I worked in my full-time job, like I knew deep down that like I could not continue doing this job when my heart just wanted to be in the community. I just wanted to like give back to the community and be in it, doing things with all the other creatives. And I think I got to a point where it was like continue being absolutely miserable, showing up every day, having my bills paid, or do something that's going to make me shine and make me happy. And I mean, I feel like already people can tell a difference in just my overall demeanor since I've left my job of just being really like, I'm just proud of myself, honestly, happy that I'm doing things to propel myself forward. So it's cool. It's a journey. It's scary and uncertain, but it is worth it thus far. So we'll see where it takes me.
Right on. Well, of course we know Styles by Key, but let's take a second too to shout out, you know, any other designers that you rock with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well, shout out to the designers that were with us on the First Friday show. We had Dan That Diva, we had Kay Made It, we had Iron Togs. All of those are great designers worked with. And then there's so many designers, right?
I want to shout out Saji.
Okay, yeah. I'm like, look, how many designers have I worked with? I'm blanking.
Saji. Okay?
Yes.
Shout out to Saji because the Athleisure Collection show is how we first linked up, and that's how I first actually got into the fashion scene and stuff. You know,
Okay.
before then I hadn't done any fashion shows or anything.
Yeah.
And since then I've done like so many fashion shows.
It's
and
such a cool world, man.
it's a cool world, you know, and I do hip hop. I do a whole bunch of things, like, and I'm part of a whole bunch of different communities. But I feel like the fashion has always been one of my favorites because of the mix of cultures and styles and everybody. You know, I know that obviously the fashion industry can be as cutthroat as any. But I feel like we have something pretty okay in Kansas City. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a good little group of people. There's a great community, and I've been like pretty excited to just be a part of it and see all the designers. I want to shout out Vilma too, V-Star Designs too, man. Shout out to Vilma. I really love what she's doing and doing the give backs and all that stuff. But yeah, salute to everybody out there doing their thing. Shout out to Styles by Key. Shout out to everybody who we've been able to work with on this path, and shout out to anybody who wants to work with us in the future because there's much more on the horizon. For sure.
And I mean, can I hop on? Yeah, I totally agree with that in terms of Kansas City and just this fashion market. So one of the things that I noticed when I moved from Chicago to Kansas City is how much more inclusive it felt in Kansas City. Like I remember starting out in Chicago and it just seemed so cutthroat. I literally like cold DM'd other stylists just to like, hey, can I just like have a coffee with you? And they blocked me. Like, right? Versus coming to Kansas City and just like immediately finding opportunities that I could volunteer for and immediately being welcomed in those different areas. And I think that's part of the reason that made me want to create Keys Fashion Collective is just I did not have a good experience entering the fashion community in Chicago, and I feel like I want to build a platform that makes it so much safer and more resourceful to enter it, to where you don't just feel like, what am I doing? Versus like, oh my God, there's so many things I can do. What do I want to choose? So yeah, it's a cool little scene we have going on here, and I don't know if enough people talk about it, but there's just so many opportunities in the fashion world in Kansas City alone, and there's so many different like vibes, right? I feel like there's like this indie creative vibe, there's the professional world, and so there's just all these different levels to it and different opportunities to it that I think are really cool because you can get involved at any level, I feel, and yeah.
And how important is it to like have done like all these parts in fashion, you know what I'm saying? Obviously designing, modeling, you know, like all the front stage, the backstage, all these different pieces and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was all working up to what I'm doing now, right? It all had led me to feel confident to create this platform. But yeah, it's cool. I mean, I think there's a little part of you that like gets into the fashion community and you're just like, what can I do? Maybe I want to model. Maybe I want to do this. Maybe I want to do that. But no, I worked with the boutique Luna by Eula for a little bit, and we got to do like design a collection in Kansas City Fashion Week. So that was really my first taste of like experiencing something as a designer. And then I think like literally 2 days later, it was the same fashion week, I ended up modeling for the first time on a runway. And yeah, all of these experiences I feel like just really help to understand what goes in it, right? I always say, especially since I started modeling and I've been a stylist, while I'm not a model, having experiencing modeling makes me such a better stylist because I understand the way the fabric moves. I understand the way the model needs to move and how we need to adapt the fabric to move with it. And I understand that, like, you know, you got to do these weird poses, so we need to make sure the outfit is aligned with that. And so I think just doing so many different facets of runway shows and the different things available to you in the fashion community has just made me a little bit more well-rounded in terms of leading other things, right? I kind of have a good working knowledge of, you know, what's going on in the front of the house. I have a good working knowledge of all the different things that need to be coordinated in the back of the house. I have a good working knowledge of how nervous you feel when you're a model about to walk up on stage and how important it is just to be like a friendly face cueing those models. You know, and then back to like the photo shoot world, I understand how awkward it can be to stand there and model. So like I want to bring that energy, bring that comfort, bring that confidence to them when they're in, you know, my clothes or my looks. So yeah, I feel like overall it's made me more well-rounded, and just experiencing different sides of the fashion world, like I said, at first has just led me to this understanding and this confidence in being able to provide and build a platform.
Yeah. One of the things I also thought was really cool, like I've seen how you, almost like a model boot camp, like showing them how to walk sometimes, and like just showing them how to do. I always thought that was really cool to be able to do that, you know, because not everyone can do that, and a lot of people do need that like direction and stuff, and also being able to direct and show is like is a really good skill too. I thought that was like a super like boss move as well.
Hey, back to that. Just I feel like getting experience in something allows you to be that much more confident leading or teaching it. And so while I never say I am a model, all of the times that I have modeled make me feel so much more confident getting up there and saying, all right, you guys need someone to walk the runway for you as an example, I got you. And I also just feel like a good leader knows how to do it at least a little bit, right? Not that they're like the expert at it, but a good leader isn't afraid to get up and say like, all right, this is how it's supposed to go. Do I want to walk the runway every time? No, not necessarily. But I want those models to feel confident. So if me walking it is what they need to see during rehearsal for them to feel confident, then I'm going to do it. Because I have that experience and I know what it takes, and I know how it feels to be a model and not know what you're doing on the runway. And I don't want anyone who is a part of an event I'm coordinating or I'm running to feel that. So if that's what I got to do, that's what I got to do.
For sure. And yeah, you know, I know we got a whole bunch of other things in the future, and I know that this next First Friday season, we're definitely going to be bringing back the fashion show. But
I sure hope so.
For the people that don't know you or want to find you, or they want to work with you, or they want to get your styles or whatever's clever, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram. That's going to be the main platform that I use, and my IG is @StylesByKey LLC. And then I'm on Facebook a little bit. That's just Kiana Hawkins. Do we really use the full government name?
You did.
I did. Facebook purposes.
Are you from Chicago originally or what?
No. So I'm from St. Joseph, Missouri, which is about 40 miles northeast, if you don't know. I went to college in Maryville at Northwest Missouri State University. I graduated college and then I moved to Chicago. I actually went there for graduate school. I actually have my master's of counseling.
Shout out.
Right?
Shout out.
Right. So that's what I went to Chicago for, and then I just stayed and lived a little bit, tried to figure out this whole adulting thing in Chicago. It was expensive. But yeah, so I was up in Chicago for about 5 years total, and then I moved back to Kansas City.
Awesome. Well, you know what? Definitely glad you're back, and I'm very happy to see what is next for sure. But shout out to you. Shout out to Styles by Key. Do you got anything else that you want to leave us with before we get up on out of here? Play a couple more songs before we get into the next show, Retro Red Eye Express with DJ Sunshine.
The only thing I really have to say is just thank you for the time. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for listening. If you guys are tuning in, and then also just like stick around for the journey, right? I'm really excited for what's ahead. It's very unknown, but we're figuring it out. I'm following my gut. I'm following my passion. So I'm really excited to bring some things to this community, to this city, and I hope to see you along for the ride.
For sure. Well, yeah, thank you so much for stopping by. Shout out to Styles by Key. Make sure you guys check in with her if you would like one of the most talented